So if I don't smile, it's because I've got a bad back and it's painful. Raimonda is going to start for us today, and what we would like is, you will see that there's quite a lot of detail on the slides. Raimonda is going to take you through those, looking at ECTS and where it's come from, where it's at now, and where it's going in the future. And what we would say is that if there are any points of clarification at any time, then please just indicate, and you know, if you don't understand one of the slides, don't understand what one of us says, then please do not hesitate to say clarification. So points of clarification as we go through, questions and discussion at the end. And at the end, we're going to look at some things for the future, some things for the present, but also put this into a little bit of an international context as well. So, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, or good morning still, everybody, and really believe it's, for me, it's very great honor, challenge, and great responsibility to talk to you. Actually, you know, if we look at, you know, if we ask Bologna countries, or Bologna universities, have you ever heard of ECTS? I'm sure everybody will say yes, yes. ECTS has been a kind of buzzword for more than 20 years around, and every program we engage in, European program, and we get finances, there is a requirement where we should use ECTS for mobility, but ECTS is more than that. As I said, everybody knows ECTS, that's right, but try to implement that. And I've seen that happen in Portugal, I've seen that happen in Italy, I've seen that happen in Austria, and now I see it happen in my own country because we are changing into ECTS system. Where we start to grow with textbook notions again. What is student workload? What is learning outcome? What is competence? And things like that. Actually, you know, the whole country, the whole system, universities, higher education institutions, and teachers themselves, they remind me of a baby who has to put together the puzzle. So they have to, you know, find out for themselves shape, color, and the logistics of doing that. So this is the greatest challenge of the ECTS, and I hope that together with Tim today we'll try at least to put you on the way of philosophy. I'm sure a lot of you, you know, most of you know what we are talking about. But anyway, it's always good, as they say, repetition is mother for learning. And believe me, once we start implementing, we have to learn again and again and again. So first of all, I would like to remind you a little bit of the history of ECTS. As you know, it started in 1989 as a pilot project, which lasted about 6 years. It was started by institutions of higher education and supported by the European Commission, which gave money for that. 145 higher education institutions were involved in 5 subject areas. Okay, the pilot project developed ECTS for transfer as a tool for mobile students to make him more secure, to make sure that what they did abroad has been brought into their own records, into their own study path. But, to be very frank, ECTS didn't take off much. It was closed in international relations offices, in the circle of the professors who actually were very, very active in mobility. It was not a kind of institutional, you know, institutions did not, on a high level, made real commitment to the system. The real push came with the Bologna Declaration. As you know, it was written, introduce systems such as ECTS, such as. So what was ECTS at that time? There were very, very indefinite features, so to say. It was used for transfer. And I'm sure that a lot of ministers who found that the Bologna Declaration didn't know much about even the system. And if you ask me, I would say that my own minister wouldn't know anything about it even now, once we are going and putting a lot of money into introducing the system. However, political will has been made, political declaration has been done, and what helped that Dublin descriptors have been established and tuning has started. Tuning started in 2000, and actually it was one of the project which really promoted and helped to develop and test ECTS as accumulation system. Another important point in development of ECTS has been Zurich Conference of European University Association. There, in 2002, more than 300 university leaders have met, and at that time already some definite features for accumulation, ECTS for accumulation have been clear, and they agreed on them. So a kind of it gave push for ECTS on an institutional level, which is very, very important, because political will is not always something that goes down. And then implementation started, first of all, mostly on national level through the legislation, ministerial decrees, and then institutions themselves have to take over. And here we have to remember that the Commission supported these initiatives again through programs, Erasmus program in particular, institutional contracts and Tempus programs, and the implementation has started slowly. Now, if we look at the main elements of ECTS before Bologna, so its key elements have been ECTS credits. They were established, credits were established, but they had relative value, not absolute value. Transparent information, of course, you know, all the tools like information package, course catalog, learning agreement, transcript of application form, for the mobility, as I said, for the purpose of mobility and mobility students, and ECTS grading scale. And the main principles were that the study abroad has to be looked upon as a value. The institution has to value, the academic staff has to value, and students themselves have to value mobility. Knowledge and trust in partner institutions, that is a crucial aspect, and voluntary basis for the introduction. And a lot of countries have used it on, especially institutions, on voluntary basis. There was no ministerial decree, there was nothing. Institutions took and used the system for transfer. And full recognition of studies abroad. That were the principles. Now, if we are coming to ECTS in the Bologna process, how it has developed and what it became for accumulation as well, first of all, we have to say that it's a student-centered system. And 60 credits are attached to the notional workload of a full-time student, for full-time student during one academic year. And it is associated with the learning outcomes. This is very important. This is a new element. Learning outcomes is incorporated into the understanding of the credit as well. Credits are allocated to qualifications, programs, and educational components. Clear to all of this. Are accumulated with the view of obtaining qualification. Again, it's one of the clear things, it seems. And awarded in one program may be transferred to another. So the transfer element has stayed in accumulation. And again, as I said already, it's a learner-centered system aimed to increase transparency of learning outcomes and learning process. And especially in my country now, there is a kind of uncertainty. People are afraid of the word, of the notion of learner-centered, just because thinking that, okay, the students will be given all the rights and teachers none, which is not true. We have to be transparent, and this is one of the aspects, student-centeredness. So it facilitates planning, delivery, evaluation, recognition, validation, so on and so forth, fosters mobility, definitely, and can be applied to lifelong learning activities in different contexts, and we'll see that. Preserves national and educational autonomy, and applicable to all sectors in higher education, again, which is very important. So this is a system who should work in every context and for everybody. Now, if we look at the application of ECTS at macro level, we can use it for accumulation, transfer, quality assurance,